In this video I'm going to detail how you can take a simple job site storage box and turn it into a Type 4 indoor storage container for display fireworks. Here is my RIDGID storage box that I just bought from Home Depot. It was $2.89, so must have been on sale for $10 because online they're listed at $2.99. This is model 48ROS and the dimensions are 48 inches by 28.5 inches by 24 inches, so it gives you a total of 16 cubic feet. The storage container is very large and you could probably fit way over 50 pounds, which is the legal limit to store display fireworks indoors. I eventually might move this outdoors if my inspector says it's weather compatible enough. It does have a seal up here on the lip, so this is weather resistant enough. I might move it outside and make it an outdoor storage container to have a little bit higher limits on what I can store in it. I'm going to be using Rust-Oleum Truck Bed coating to coat the inside so it is spark proof. I know a lot of people use 1/2-inch plywood on the inside, but this truck bed coating should work a lot better and is a lot easier to apply since there's a few different edges in here. I have one Masterlock on here right now. This is a number 17 Masterlock, and it has a shackle diameter of 9/16. No, actually it's 7/16 shackle diameter, so this meets the minimum requirement. I will also be getting another number 17 master padlock to go on this side, which has not arrived yet. Right now I'm going to start with taking this mesh off the back so that I can actually coat that with the truck bed coating too and make that spark proof. And I'll keep you guys updated on the progress as we move along here. This will be my first indoor magazine that I built to get my BATF license, so we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you guys updated and see how if it actually does pass the inspection and what all needs to be done to this yet. Okay, I've got the back mesh all taken off now, and there were some warning labels behind that I removed as well, so that the undercoating can get a good seal on the top without being over any warning labels. I'm also going to remove this because if I'm going to paint up to the top of this, I don't want to get it all over that. To remove it, all you do is take a little flathead, get it underneath this clip here, pop the clip off, and this will come right off as well. In the bottom, one of my concerns is they have these rubber plugs and they go all the way through the box from the underneath. Hopefully the inspector doesn't see that as a problem, and they might not even see it since I'm coating this with black undercoating as well. And this is 32 fluid ounces of undercoating, so we'll see how far it gets. I believe I got this on Amazon for about $16. I'll post the link in the description for the box as well as the undercoating and the locks that I'm using as well. But I'll show a little example of how these locks actually work. You just put your master lock in this. You got to put your U-clamp on the top of the master lock first, and then they give you these nuts that you just screw on to hold the master lock in place. My U-clamp was a little tight, so I actually had to take 2 pliers and bend it a little wider to get the master lock to fit through it. But after you get it in there and the nice nuts tightened down, you can then come over here and close it down, remove the key, and lock the master lock, and now it will not open any longer. To unlock it, put your key in your master lock, twist, then you're able to unlock it. On the top of these number 17 master locks, there is actually a little piece of rubber right around the top here that actually made it really tight for the lock to slip in and out of this cutout that they have in the box. So I actually took that and I just cut that right off. Now it easily slips in and out of there when you turn the key, comes out, and when you lock it, locks nice and tight in there. You remove your key. No one's able to actually cut that shackle off. It meets all the ATF requirements, and this has some nice legs on the bottom of it that you can actually bolt this down. That's what I will be doing. I will be bolting it in a shed so that it can't be easily removed. Next step, I'm going to start the undercoating process and get this all coated so that it's spark free. Okay, I got the box all ready to undercoat now. I went around and taped off all of the points that you would not want to get undercoating on, all the points that it's hinging on, as well as in the locks here. Also, I prepped the surface of the box by taking some steel wool, scuffing up the surface a little bit, and then I took some light detergent and washed it off, and then rinsed it off with some clean water, and then dried it all off. Had it sitting for about an hour dry. Now we're going to start the undercoating process, see how this turns out. Okay, I got the first coat of undercoating on now. You can see that there are still some spots that are not coated, so hopefully a second coat will cover those up. One thing to note is you definitely want good ventilation. You want to have all the doors open while doing this. Definitely don't do it inside. I've applied this with a solvent resistant foam roller, and in the corners I used a brush to get them. And you want to make sure that you have acetone on hand to be able to clean your hands off, any other parts of the box that you actually got this on. Acetone takes it off real easy. Best to probably wear gloves, makes cleanup a lot easier. I'm going to do a second coat here and see how it turns out after that. So here's the final product after the second coat of undercoating has been applied, and I removed all the masking tape. Turned out pretty good. I'd say you definitely want to have the acetone nearby as soon as you remove that masking tape, and don't let it dry for too long before you want to clean up your edges. But turned out pretty good. The edges turned out pretty clean, and 2 coats is gonna do it. This looks like it covered pretty well. I don't see any orange spots anymore, so now all I got to do is let this dry overnight, and then I'll install the hardware back on it. I could leave the mesh off the top, but it's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to use up too much extra room, so I'll just put it back to the way it was, and I'll install the piston back over here again. There and there, the same way I took it off, just slip back on over, put those 2 clamps back over the top, and then I'll make sure everything still locks up. There is the final product. Just waiting for my second lock to arrive, and then I will go get this mounted up to the location that I'm going to be storing these in. I haven't said it yet, but I'm actually in Michigan, so I have to follow all the Michigan state guidelines as well as my local guidelines. After a few days of drying, here's the final product. You can see I did get a pretty even coat of the bed liner on here. I installed the fabric back on the top, just so it's not laying around anymore. All the inside got a pretty even coat as well. I did get my second lock over here as well now. I did tape over all the moving pieces so that they did not get undercoated. And I installed the solenoid back over here as well. Go ahead, give it a shot. I will mention that I did cut off the rubber pieces on the number 17 Masterlock on this side due to it being such a tight fit on the box itself. You can see there's not much room on either side, but now they seem to be working pretty good. Locked, and you lock it, you're unable to get it open. These locks are not matching for more security purposes. They are not keyed the same. Now all I have to do is take this up and bolt it to the shed that I'm going to be using this in. I'm going to be using 4 lag bolts that are going to bolt through these legs on the bottom and bolt right into the floor of the shed so it is unable to be removed. So here's the location that I ended up putting the magazine. It's in a shed next to a barn, and I put it back here in the back of the shed, and I ended up bolting it to the ground with lag bolts on all 4 of the corners. I kept the packaging for the lock, as well as the truck bed liner so that I can show the inspector that this is what the magazine is coated with. And I guess we'll see what the inspector says, and I'll post a follow-up video on how the inspection went and everything that occurred during the inspection. Stay tuned for that.